Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
My cars are gone. She's over in the dark, drinking wine, and I flip on the lights. I'm going, girl, where's my cars?
The whole purpose behind law is to right wrong. I want justice to be something that isn't this foreign concept.
Justice knows no boundaries. The truth will be heard. Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Kevin Bird is suing Jennifer Tyner in the amount of $2,800. Mr. Bird claims Ms. Tyner had 3 of his cars towed away. Ms. Tyner claims the plaintiff gave her permission to get rid of his cars.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties be sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy Thomas. Mr. Bird, this $2,900 is based on monies that you feel you need to recover from Ms. Tyner because she sold some vehicles that belong to you.
That is correct.
All right. And this amount, where do you get this number from?
Well, the total of the 3 were $37.95, but that's excellent condition, but they're not in excellent condition.
We're talking about 3 cars.
Yeah.
And when you come up with this $37.95 figure, what are you basing that figure on?
From the Kelley Blue Book.
The Blue Book value
for
of these 3
condition.
vehicles would have been that amount, but you're saying that they were not in operable conditions as to each of them?
You can kind of say that, yes. There were,
well, no, either we're saying that, or were they operable, Ms. Tyner?
No.
No, they were going to be operable. They were my hobby, I was fixing them all up.
Well, if you're going to give me
the...
do you have the Kelley Blue Book?
Yeah.
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
There? Yes. Please.
I got pictures.
They'll take everything. Just give me whatever you want to give.
In the meantime, Ms. Tyner, what was the deal with the cars? You got rid of them because?
Because it was really time. I couldn't support this parking lot in my yard anymore because it was not in any way a project. This was a storage facility. And
3 cars, and this is on your private residence?
Absolutely.
Is this a owned property? Was it a rental property?
It is a rental property, sir.
So you're renting a home there?
Absolutely.
Are both your names on the lease?
Yes.
All right. And how long have the 2 of you been in a relationship?
6 years.
6 years.
All right. And during the 6, but you're not married?
No.
All right. Was that an issue for you, Ms. Tyner?
It kind of was. It was on and off because I kind of couldn't understand whether he's married to me or to the cars. It's interesting because this whole time when he kept collecting things and collecting things and collecting things, and the kind of
throughout
things
the
went
6-year relationship, were the 2 of
Yes.
you living together the entire time?
Yes.
Yes.
We moved in together after about 4 months of dating.
Was this a sudden thing that you started collecting all these things, or was it?
Just, I like certain things. I'll, think I have something, I'm going to do something with it. Mm-hmm. But the cars were the main thing that she got.
Was it a hobby for you? I mean,
I guess
are you
a
just
little bit, somewhat.
Because if you're not driving them and they're just sitting there.
Well, they were going to, I did drive them, but then, they would break down. So, and then that would.
Well, why wouldn't you just take them to a mechanic?
Because, I like to do things myself.
Because
so, and I would work on them once in a while. But, I got to work, and I got to give her attention because she needs so much attention.
Well, after the first car, while you're trying to make that one work, why would you then add a second and a third if they're all
Because they're classics.
How long did the car sit there?
Your Honor. I would really like to, I don't know, fly to Mars. But I just don't have the training or know-how. I can say I have hobbies too, but I can't, if I can't dedicate time and effort to learn how to do something, I don't actually do it.
How long did the 3 cars sit there?
About 6 years.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. The whole time?
Not from start to finish. We were together for 6 years.
The first one showed up right away.
Yeah, they would slowly come in. So, that sounds bad, but it's really not,
It sounds...
They're cars.
It sounds the way
I love my
it is.
cars,
So
My
you're
main
saying
thing is
over the course of a long period of time. It
Yes.
wasn't just that they sat a month or two.
No.
They sat and then they started having siblings join them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, it was. Yeah, it was amazing. And the most incredible thing was that every time I would say to him, "So, did you work on the cars last week?" And he would say, "Yes." And I would go out there, and there would be weeds this high around them. And I'd be like, "Wow, you must be good."
Coming up on America's Court.
My cards are gone. And I'm like, what? She's over in the dark, drinking wine. Like, I flip on the lights. I'm going, girl, where's my cards?
And later,
But yeah, I kept it strictly professional. I wouldn't have met with her if it was just the two of us. That was not any plan of mine. It was just enjoying the company of a friend. That's it.
And then it became more.
closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. We're back with the case of Kevin Bird, who is suing Jennifer Tyner for $2,800.
I see why you are with her.
Yeah, I like her spunk.
She's got spunk.
Yeah.
She's got, she's a little prickly, but she's in your corner. She's patient. She loves you, and she's trying to work with you. After a certain amount of time, even the most dedicated significant other says, okay, enough's enough. What happened with the cars?
I called a friend of mine, and all I cared about is for them to be gone. I received $300. I have a receipt if you'd like.
See that? Yes, for all three.
Yes, $100 each.
$100 each for $100 each.
And
I had a friend that was going to give me $3,000 for one of them.
You have proof of that?
No, just verbal.
so I went to the store with that money, and I bought a really nice bottle of wine.
I don't like her.
And I turned on my jazz, and I just sat there and quietly celebrated the fact that maybe some tomatoes or something can replace that junk. I honestly don't even care if there are raccoons out there that live there, as long as there's not.
You needed to have that space cleared.
Please.
You didn't tell them you were doing that before you did it.
But you know what? I
Hold on a moment.
clearly,
Hold on. Did you tell them before you did it?
She did not.
I clearly received a permission from him.
No permission.
Yes, there was a permission.
What
We
was
had
your
an
per-
argument.
It was a
Wait,
clear
wait.
statement.
Now let me hear from him now. You had an argument.
We had an argument, and maybe under my breath or something, I said, do whatever you want. That
Stop.
might have gave her, okay,
Stop.
do whatever I
The
want.
argument was about what?
I don't know what we were arguing about. We were just arguing about
Women
something.
always remember.
Probably about
What was
Yeah,
the
okay.
argument about, Miss Tyner? Surprise, surprise, the cars.
Actually, it started with the fact that he left the hose on outside, and he was dragging mud all over my living room. And that led to the rest of the
And then the laundry list just
uncomfortable
came on out, huh?
things in our living situation.
And then
And that was it. And I said, this has to end. We have to resolve this. And he said, fine, get rid of them. And walked out.
is that true?
I said, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
And you walked out, and then what? You cooled down. You came back a few
Well,
hours
a week later.
right? I'm sorry.
Well, I had to go out of town for a week, so I come back, and my cars are gone. And I'm like, what? I'm freaking out here. I go in. It's all dark, and just soft, soothing music on, and she's over in the dark, drinking wine. Like, I flip on the lights. I'm going, girl, where's my cars?
And she said,
And
you
And I
told
said,
me.
I'm drinking them. Sorry.
So I'm like, oh, man.
Sorry.
I love those cars.
I got it. Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel will come down, in favor of the defendant. You told her, get rid of them.
I didn't specifically say, get
Which
rid
is
of them.
why
I said, do whatever
said-
you want.
Which is why I said to you, what
we
did
say
you
stuff
say?
when we're angry. You know, I did.
Right? And so for me,
I didn't know if she
when
was
you
going to get rid of
said,
them.
this is what I said, I told her, fine, get rid of them. As a result, you cannot sustain your burden here, sir. Your matter's dismissed.
Thank you, sir.
You need to keep her.
I love her. I mean, we're probably going to go have a wonderful evening tonight.
I don't want to know. Case closed.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
I'm very happy with the ruling. No more parking lot in my yard.
I'm disappointed. I still love her, but I'll figure out a way to get my cars back somehow.
And coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross,
But yeah, I kept it strictly professional. I wouldn't have met with her if it was just the two of us. That was not any plan of mine. It was just enjoying the company of a friend. That's it.
And then it became more.
closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Jeffrey Graham is suing Aubrey Tiller in the amount of $2,900. Mr. Graham claims Mr. Tiller was doing more with his wife than just giving her piano lessons. Mr. Tiller claims nothing inappropriate went on with the plaintiff's wife.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties been sworn, Your Honor.
Third, your deputy's office. Mr. Graham, you want your money back for these piano lessons that Mr. Tiller was providing for your wife.
Yes, I do.
Is this your wife right here? Mrs. Graham, step forward. Since this involves you and you, how did it come about with Mr. Tiller where you said you're going to pay for your wife to have piano lessons?
There was a moment in time about 2 years ago. It was roughly around the time of your birthday. I have a tendency of leaving my golf clubs on the floor. I golf
Always.
quite a bit.
She said always.
Always. I told you many times.
Oh, you sound like Miles. All right, go ahead. Mine too.
I do occasionally. And there was one particular instance during the evening where the lights were off and Robin tripped. And
Over
I
the
was
golf clubs.
And
over
I
the
broke
golf
my
clubs
leg.
And you broke your
I
leg.
broke my leg.
And I was more than apologetic. And because of my apologetic nature towards Robin, she's such an active person and she has such an active lifestyle, and I wanted to provide her with something while her leg was broken. And her birthday was coming up. I decided to present her with a gift that she had been talking about, wanting to practice piano, and I decided to give her that opportunity. So I
And
started,
Mr. Tiller, you do this full-time as a living in terms of instructing
Yes, Your Honor.
people how to play the piano?
Absolutely.
And this was a birthday present that you gave to your wife?
Yes.
All right.
Coming up on America's Court,
But yeah, I kept it strictly professional. I wouldn't have met with her if it was just the two of us. That was not any plan of mine. It was just enjoying the company of a friend. That's it.
And then it became more.
closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. We're back with the case of Jeffrey Graham, who is suing Aubrey Tiller for the cost of piano lessons.
And you started having these piano sessions with Miss Graham.
Yes, sir.
And then take it from there, sir.
She picked up very quick. She has a great ear for tune. And nothing happened while we were doing our lessons.
What do you mean nothing happened in terms of the two of you?
There was no funny business while we were having lessons. The first time I ever interacted with her outside of strictly student-teacher atmosphere was I had gone to a restaurant that she had happened to mention because, well, why
You're
not?
just having conversation.
Absolutely. So I invited a friend of mine to go check out the restaurant. She happened to be there with her friends. Purely a coincidence.
And the two of you struck up a conversation.
Yeah, I
I
went over and
introduced him
said
to
hi.
my friends, and
This is
they
the
just
gentleman
joined.
that's teaching me how to play the piano.
Yeah, we joined at the table.
Because they heard a lot about him, and he just joined our table with his friend. And you can ask everyone who was at the table. It was perfectly innocent. We were just having a couple of drinks and just friends relationship.
We weren't even
Nothing unusual.
Yeah, we weren't even sitting by each other.
Yes.
Okay.
And I believe that.
All right. And then? At some point, did
well,
it become more than that?
There was another time a little after that, whenever she had invited me to go out with her and her friends, which I accepted because it's a group setting. It's not anything unprofessional.
It's not a date. It's just a group of friends going out having drinks.
Okay. Absolutely. I mean, I've made friends with other students.
And
I'm
did
allowed
your
to have-
husband also go on this group outing?
No, he works a lot. So because of my broken leg, I couldn't work. So it was at least I could do, just meet up with my friends since I couldn't do anything else. That was my only joy.
Okay.
So he didn't join us on a dinner.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, I kept it strictly professional. I wouldn't have met with her if it was just the two of us. That was not any plan of mine. It was just enjoying the company of a friend. That's it.
And then it became more.
Well, after we started hanging out a little more, she started telling me more about, you know, her leg, her job, like her friends, everything. And she started mentioning how they had been growing apart for a while, and I listened. I never tried to swoop in and take her. As soon as we realized that things were getting a little bit more personal, we cut off the lessons.
Yes, we did.
Because that wouldn't have been very
Not
professional.
professional.
That's not honest.
So you cut off the lessons and then you started seeing her.
Yes.
Which is why she's on that side of the aisle.
Absolutely.
Next to you.
I'm pretty sure that
No
she
piano
wouldn't-
in sight.
I'm pretty sure that she wouldn't have been standing on his side for very much longer, whether or not I was in the
not
picture.
happy. I was not happy. I've been talking to him for a long time that we have problems, that our marriage doesn't work out as it used to be, and I just probably...
Every marriage has problems.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. You're watching America's Court with Judge Ross. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel has to come down in favor of the defendant. Because if you gave it to her and she decided to do whatever it was she chose to do with it.
She chose to break a trust that we made, a truce.
Stop. She chose.
She chose
to take your gift.
To take my gift.
And do with it the way she wanted to. But you're suing him.
Yes, it's not about
But
her.
the gift was to her. So you can't sue her because you were in a marital situation and you gave your wife a gift. You can't get that money back from him because you gave it to her. You're trying to get back at her through him because you're hurt. And you're angry. And you're jealous. And I get you thinking, but I'm a good guy. I didn't cheat on her. I actually agree. Because oftentimes what happens is sometimes the grass isn't always greener. Mrs. Graham. Your matter's dismissed. Case closed.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
I gifted my wife piano lessons and then I got stabbed in the back.
All I did was my job. Robin made her own choice. I'm glad she chose me.
Follow America's Court on Facebook and Twitter. This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.